Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Ish the PowerPoint Gamer here, and man, I just keep cranking out videos before tomorrow. As of the day I'm filming this, is Thursday. Tomorrow I'm going to be putting up a video. I think you guys will be pretty excited to see what it is, but we can we'll get to it when we get to that. Right now, today we have honestly the most hype Nintendo Direct mini partner showcase of the year. Granted, that's not exactly a high bar to pass. But the last couple have been, even with tempered expectations, they've been relatively underwhelming. And this one was actually pretty hype. And also we had the PS5 event yesterday, which we are also going to cover in this video. Real quick though, you see that? That's not permanent. That's here until Monday. So get used to like fun backgrounds for like a solid one video, pretty much. Anyways, let's get right into it. We're gonna go in chronological order. First, we're gonna take into account the PS5 event, and then we're gonna talk about the Nintendo Direct Mini after we get past that. The PS5 event, honestly, there isn't a whole lot to cover in that one. A lot of the games that they showed off have already been shown off elsewhere in other PS5 events. The big things that they showed off at this event were Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is getting a cross-gen like platform situation, so Miles Morales will be available on PS4 as well as PS5. But I mean, that's cool to see, right? That's actually pretty cool to see. They also revealed Final Fantasy 16, which was one of the big that was what they opened with. Then after Final Fantasy 16, they moved on to Spider-Man PS5, I guess at this point. Everybody got used to calling Spider-Man PS4, so now it's hard to call it Spider-Man Miles Morales or not call it. More than harder to call it Spider-Man Miles Morales, it's harder to just not call it Spider-Man PS5. But anyway, after Final Fantasy 16, they moved on to Spider-Man PS5, gave it an extended gameplay demo. It looked pretty... It looks good. It looks like Spider-Man. What more do you want from me? They also had an extended gameplay look at Demon's Souls, and I have to say, Demon's Souls, damn, that game looks next gen. Listen, Final Fantasy 16, I have a good feeling that was probably just like an FMV or something, but Demon's Souls gameplay, that looked really good, and that looked like it was next gen with all the lighting effects, with the SSD being able to load like worlds really quickly. Within a couple seconds you were able to load worlds. No loading screens, it looked like, in the middle, which was crazy. And so Demon's Souls was definitely one of the most hype things that they showed off there. They also did drop a price tag on the PS5 and PS5 Digital Edition. That's $500 or $499 technically for the PS5 disc drive version, and $400, $399 for the discless one. Which means that the current pricing of all of the next-gen consoles has been revealed. Both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are going to be $500. And then the PS5 Digital Edition comes down to $400, and then the Xbox Series S comes down to $300. So you have a perfect ladder, like diagonal, of stuff. And it's actually going to be pretty interesting to see how this whole thing shakes out, because the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are both fairly similar consoles, but the PS5 Digital Edition versus the Xbox Series S, those are two very different consoles trying to achieve two very different things. So I'm very curious as to how this is going to play out. Another pretty hype thing that they announced was the PS Plus collection coming to PS5. So right out the box, as soon as you get your PlayStation 5 and get PS Plus for it, you get access to a lot of great titles from the PS4 optimized for PS5. I don't know if they're gonna be like upscaled or something to like be able to run, you know, in a next-gen fashion on PS5, or if it's just gonna be the PS4 games again. But regardless of, you know, however that shakes out, you're still getting access to some of the best games of this console generation on the next console generation, included with PS Plus. And in my opinion, that makes the price tag of PS Plus seem a lot more worth it. The way that it shakes out on Game Pass is that you pay $15 per month on Game Pass Ultimate, which means that per year you're paying around $180. But on PlayStation, after introducing the PS Plus collection, you're paying, assuming we're gonna keep the same pricing structure, you're paying $60 a year for access to, granted, not necessarily fully, like optimized to take advantage of all of the hardware perks of the new console, but you are getting a library of some of the best games of the last console generation included alongside that $60 a year purchase. And it seems that as long as you have PS Plus, you'll have access to the PS Plus collection. The PS Plus collection includes great first-party titles, including God of War, which I would consider one of, if not, it's definitely up there. I wouldn't say it's the best game of this console generation. I think that honor goes to Breath of the Wild pretty easily. But it's a great game, and I think it's definitely worth a play if you missed out on it in the PS4 generation. You also get access to Uncharted 4, which was another really good game. And then you also have access to some third-party titles like Mortal Kombat X, Fallout 4, and my personal favorite on the list, Persona 5. It's not Persona 5 Royal, that isn't included, but the base level Persona 5 is included in the PS Plus collection, and that is like a 100-hour game on its own. So right out of the box, even if you don't want to buy any new games, like COD this year is going to cost $70 on PS5, so if you don't feel like dropping that kind of money at launch to play a game, you have access to some of the best games of the last console generation. I would assume somewhat slightly optimized for the next console generation. In this holiday season will be the current console generation, but you have some of the best games of this gen on next gen. As soon as you get PS Plus, you can just download the PS Plus collection and play to your heart's content. And that was a big power move, I have to say. It's a huge value proposition. For PS Plus, you're paying $60 a year and you're getting access to, granted, old titles by the time the PS5 comes out, but some of the best old titles of this last generation. For Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you're paying $15 a month or $180 a year for Game Pass Ultimate. You're getting pretty high quality titles, but in my opinion, a lot of those titles, especially Microsoft's first party lineup, just doesn't compare. Xbox Game Pass is giving you a lot more games, and because of that, I think there's a lot more quality titles on there. But if we were talking per capita, I feel like PS5's PS Plus collection would win. Maybe not necessarily on the value proposition per se, but to include some of the best games of this current console generation immediately playable on next-gen consoles as soon as you buy PS Plus, that's a power move, and I wonder what Xbox is gonna bring to the table to compete with that. They can't bank on just Game Pass alone, since this is in pretty much direct competition with that. They need to have some kind of hard hitters that they market on Game Pass. And that was pretty much it for the PS5 event, except right at the very end they pulled a one more thing, as all the big tech companies do, and announced a God of War 5. God of War 2 if you're not counting the original trilogy way back when, but I call it God of War 5 since I have played those, so for me it's the fifth one. God of War 5 is coming, it said 2021, and I guess it's called Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok, I guess, is the subtitle because we're not doing numbers. It would be confusing to do numbers at this point, but you know, I guess it's called God of War Ragnarok. I wonder what the story implications behind that are, because if you look at the tale of Ragnarok, not necessarily Thor Ragnarok, the movie, but Ragnarok as a concept in Norse mythology, there are some characters involved in the God of War game on PS4 that are extremely important to Ragnarok in Norse mythology, so I wonder how they're gonna handle it. It seems interesting, and I'm pretty excited to see it. But that was all from the PS5 event. Now let's move on to the Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase today. Now, this Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase was, I think, the first live-streamed event that Nintendo's done this year, like the first live-streamed Direct. And it was well worth it, because it was actually 30 minutes long total. Not 30 minutes full, it was split up 15-15, so the first 15 minutes were the Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase, and then the next 15 minutes were a specific Direct, which we'll get into right away. First thing that they showed off in the Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase before the announcer even got on stage was two 2 new Monster Hunter games coming exclusively, it seems, at least, to the Switch. Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin. Now, on a personal level, I kind of vibe with the art style of Monster Hunter Stories 2 a little more. I don't know what it is, but I feel like that kind of art style is pretty timeless, whereas Monster Hunter Rise's graphics, I feel, will get dated when the new generation of consoles comes out and you see Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch and it's not as good. But I still think Monster Hunter Rise looks really, really cool. It seems to have taken a lot of inspiration from Monster Hunter World on the PS4, which, by the way, is also available in the PS Plus collection, but it seems to have taken a lot of the elements that they used in that game with the open world environments, with the quality of life changes, the more realistic art styles and movement, and they also added something that not just me, everybody kind of called this when Breath of the Wild came out. Breath of the Wild is, for me and a lot of people, the game of the gen, and the game is still inspiring new games coming out to this day. Breath of the Wild placed a huge focus on the verticality of its world, and Monster Hunter Rise seems to be doing the same, with the Rise subtitle, as Capcom's own employee said, coming from the fact that they wanted to add a layer of verticality to the game. And that comes in with this new grappling hook feature and you being able to run up the sides of mountains for a little bit and climb anywhere. It looks like at least anywhere. I don't know, the game looks really dope and I can't wait to see it in action. Then they also had a couple other smaller announcements, like one of the bigger ones that I liked was Sniper Elite 4 coming holiday 2020. I'm not like the biggest shooter guy, but the Sniper Elite franchise is pretty fun and I have pretty fond memories of playing it. And then the best announcement in my opinion, because I'm not really a Monster Hunter guy, I thought both of the announcements were cool, but that's just not really my thing as much. I might pick up Rise later down the line when it comes out, maybe a couple months after it comes out, but it looks cool and I will probably pick it up. But my favorite announcement today was Ori 2, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, is coming today. It shadow dropped today on the eShop. Alongside that, there's also a collector's edition, so you have a box set of both Ori 1 and Ori 2 on Switch, plus some extra goodies alongside it, and a really cool looking box. And my first thought is that's really cool, because it looks really dope, but did they do that on Xbox? Because I don't think, at least, that they even did that on Xbox. For the record, Moon Studios, the company that made Ori, is owned by Xbox Game Studios. Microsoft owns Moon Studios, so they actually own Ori as well. And so that was very confusing when I saw a collector's edition coming to Switch, but it never look a gift horse in the mouth, you know? It looks really cool. Anyways, guys, that was all of the stuff that happened this week. Expect a new video tomorrow on, well, it'll be a surprise for tomorrow. But expect a new video tomorrow. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Please do leave a like down below. Comment below how hype you are for the new announcements, both for PS5 and for the Switch. I am personally really hyped for Ori and the Will of the Wisps. It is $30, so I'm probably not gonna get it right away, but I will be getting it soon because Ori and the Blind Forest is a great game. Seriously, if you haven't tried it out, go play it. It's great. I think it's on Xbox, PC, and Switch. Don't necessarily know if it's on PS4, but I know for a fact that it is on Xbox, PC, and Switch. But comment below how hyped you are for all of the announcements that were made this week. And subscribe to list when new videos come out and all the other content, including the video that I'm making tomorrow, which, again, like I said, I'm leaving it a surprise for y'all. And hit the bell to join the notification squad and get alerts every single time a new video drops, as soon as it drops, including the moment in time I go live. And share with friends to know about YouTubers such as myself. So guys, in short, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm the Powerpoint Gamer. My lights are out.